Hey there, it is Mr. Fourth Row, going to preface this episode before we get into it. This was the very first on-site recording of the Wrestling with Altitude podcast. Filter had sent me a message saying, hey, let's give it a try. Let's do a recording on-site. And I was like, okay, all right, let's give it a shot. So please bear with me. I did listen to this already. It sounded pretty decently on my headphones, so enjoy, and I'll be back after the interview.
All right, welcome to a very special edition of the Wrestling with Altitude podcast. We are on location at the Rackhouse Pub in Denver, Colorado, and I have with me right now a man of many names, Dorian Maddox, Filter, but I'm just going to call him Monster Zero.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. What's up with you?
Oh, great. So, like I said, we're recording from the Rackhouse, where the show is going to go happen in a couple hours.
Yeah, just around the corner.
Yeah, excited about for tonight?
Always excited, man. Always excited. This is about my fourth show I got 4 shows this weekend. But I'm excited for all 4 of them, you know. Never a dull moment in wrestling.
All right, I am too. So, let's see. Last time we talked, you were just getting started in the flow of the professional wrestling circuit in Colorado.
Yeah.
Well, so since then, we talked, you've won the tag team championships with Hunter?
I won twice. I won with Hunter Gray, and then I won with Anthony Cantina.
Right.
So I hated them both.
So how was it working with Hunter as a tag team partner?
I mean, like, it was easy just because me and him we're both a couple of big badass ass kickers, you know. So we went out there and we just took no shit, and we kicked ass and took names, you know what I mean? So he ended up turning on me. That's what you do. That's what happens when you trust people. That's why I don't trust nobody. You know what I mean? He ended up turning on me. If I see him again, though, it's heads on sight. Heads on sight with me and him.
Yeah, and then speaking of really turning on you, Anthony Cantina.
Who was that? Who's that? Nah.
Some 6-tool player.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. In the ring, out of the ring, behind the scenes, he's not a very good dude. So tagging with him kind of really. We won the belts, which was cool, but it really weighed me down. He was a big weight. He's a big crutch on me. I had to watch his back all the time, and I'm just glad he's not around anymore.
Yeah. You know? Well, if we had to break the fourth wall a little bit, from what I saw on screen and off screen in person, I was cringing a lot.
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit, but you know, I can't take it away from the guy. He's talented. You know, he works pretty hard. He's talented. Maybe he'll do something. He probably won't. You know, his attitude is as good as be his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
So that's all I really got to say about him, you know.
Yeah, no, we're holding no punches back here tonight.
I'm saying, man.
We're getting Rackhouse rowdy.
Right into it, man.
Yeah. All right. So, since then, what have you been doing in the professional wrestling circuit? You've actually branched out and gone to a couple different promotions since we last officially talked on the podcast.
For sure. I wrestle all around Colorado. Like, I won the Primos title. I'm still the champion there. I've had some great matches with Adrian Matthews and with Anaya, with Delta Jr., and I wrestle all around here in Colorado, pretty much every promotion. I wrestled in Arizona. I was the mainstay over at NWL when they were running TV there. I've been to Anarchy, Metro Pro when they were still running. I've been to Vegas, FSW, Championship Wrestling from Arizona. I've been to New Mexico. I've been to Oklahoma. I've been to Iowa. The only place I'm really trying to get to right now that I haven't been to is like out to California. They got a lot going on out there. Of course, all over the East Coast. There's indies all over the East Coast. You know, I'd love to get in somewhere down there in Texas. There's a lot going on in Texas that I'd like to be a part of. You know.
Yeah. So you mentioned NWL. So they've kind of transitioned to Journey Pro. Any thoughts about going out to them with them?
Yeah, I'm very interested in going out to Journey Pro. Like, all right, so if we're not holding nothing back, you know, we're being completely honest. I'm kind of I'm in some trouble with the law right now, so I can't leave the state as of right now. But once all that's said and done and it's over, I'll be back out there. I'll be back out in Kansas City, out in the Missouri area. For sure.
Yeah, so Monster Zero's coming for you.
Always.
States, watch out.
Better watch your ass.
All right. So, hey, what do you What are you doing tonight? What's your match?
Tonight, I think it's an 8-man tag. I don't know who we're facing, but I know that me and Marlon, my big bro, we're tagging with Chongo and Austin Reddick. So me and Chongo got a lot of history. We fought together. We've fought against each other. We fought together. He's a good friend of mine. Madhouse Monsters in the house. Me and him and Marlon and Austin Reddick are going to be tagging tonight against some poor bastard who's going to have to get their ass kicked.
Awesome. All right. So let me think what else we can talk about here. So we got the Madhouse at the Rackhouse tonight.
Absolutely.
So let's see. So did the Monster Zero name get? Did it come about probably because of Primos? It sounded like.
No. Like Monster Zero kind of goes back a long way. Like I got it from an MF Doom song. He did an album called Take Me to Your Leader back in like 2003, 2004, and the whole thing, like he rapped as King Ghidorah. Do you know who that is from the what's it called, Godzilla films?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's like goes way back. I got it from so long story short, I got it from MF Doom and he got it from Godzilla. So yeah, big fan of hip hop, big fan of music. You know, just kind of trying to take some outside inspirations. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah.
So with all these monikers, do you ever get confused who you are at different promotions?
Nah, not really. Like back when I was doing NWO, I was Maddox there. So when I came here, when I came back, you know, started doing more Colorado indies. At New Era, they were like, hey, you know, what do you want to go by? So I was just like, you know what, I'll go by Dorian Maddox. You know, kind of try to keep it fresh, kind of change it up a little bit for all the fans. And here in Primos and CSW and IWC and Hugos and all the other crap I do, it's Big Filt Dawg now.
Big Filt Dawg.
I'm kind of changing from Filter. I'm trying to evolve the character a little bit. I'm switching up to Big Filt Dawg, baby.
Yeah, you can bet on that.
Exactly.
So tell the listeners, what's that all about?
The bet?
Yeah.
Man, like that's just something I say all the time. I say it in life, backstage, all the time. Sometimes I'll say it in promos and every now and then. And they were just like, man, you have to have a shirt that says bet on it. You have to make that a part of your character. And I'm just like, all right, bet. You know what I mean? So it's something from my real life that I'm transferring into pro wrestling a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to make a moniker. Everybody's got something that they say. You know, maybe I could make bet. It's just something I say to get it over pretty well with the fans. You know.
So speaking of shirts, I'm gonna shoot on you.
Yo.
Got more shirts on the way?
On the way. I got them on the way.
I still haven't got a filter or a bet shirt. I just keep on missing the time frame.
It's some bullshit, man. It's some bullshit. I do got some more on the way, though. Bet that. For real.
2X.
2X? Do you want to? I'm going to get some more 2X. Because the last order I got, I only ordered XL through small. So this time I'm gonna get some 2X. I'm gonna get a little less small, a little more big, you know.
Yeah, it's tough to know what you're gonna need to order from month to month. And okay, so I'm gonna shoot on the fans and everybody listening.
Yeah.
Support the wrestlers and their merch sales because that's really where they make their living.
Exactly. Like everybody wants to be like, oh, you know, I support you. I'm a fan. It's like, hey, well then how about you buy a shirt? How about you come to more than one show? You know what I mean? That's why you're the best around, man. You come to every show. You support everybody. It's good shit, brother.
I'm attending, like you're wrestling in 4 shows this weekend.
I am.
I'm attending 4 shows this weekend.
My man. That's what I'm talking about. That's dedication right there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I even got called out. I don't know if you know this, but I got called out at the Iron Hills Championship Wrestling last Saturday.
Is that right?
By Big Guns.
I don't know that.
Yeah. So that's what he said. So he goes. He was talking about, really appreciate the fans, whether it's your first show this month that you're attending, or your first show ever, or it's your 100th show like Ari, and this month, we really appreciate each and every one of you.
Oh yeah.
So
you make it to more shows and you watch more shows than most of the guys around here wrestle on every month. And that's saying something. That's really awesome. Man.
I like being entertained. And
absolutely.
Everybody entertains me. You entertain me. Your partner as of late, Marlon Bishop, has really entertained me. So, hey, speaking of that, how'd you guys hook up and become a tag team? Because he was a new cool dude for a little while, and now he's Marlon Bishop.
Oh, for sure. Well, and for anybody who hasn't seen Marlon, he played like 8 years in the NFL. He's a big bad motherfucker, pretty much. Is what that's the gist of it. Yeah. And coming in about a month or 2 in, I kind of took him under my wing, because I'm the only other big guy around here that could show him the ropes of how to really be a big man around here, And that's pretty much how the team started, you know, like behind the scenes and everything. I was really showing him a lot and taking him under my wing and just doing everything I could for him. So it's natural. It just has to translate to on-screen stuff, you know what I mean? And I love it. Tagging with him, he's probably the best athlete we've ever had here. You know, either him or Otis Dozovic, you know what I mean? Those two, there are a couple of, they were born to do this, you know? And Marlon's going to be a big star a lot sooner than later.
Yeah. He's already got the charisma down.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's like a modern-day Keith Lee, man. His athleticism is just out of this world.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree with that.
But what can you do? Like, it's to be expected of him. He's an actual professional athlete, or he was, you know.
Right.
And now he's transferring into our world.
I mean, that's pull no punches. You are an athlete if you're a professional wrestler.
Absolutely. Anybody who could do this and do it as often as a person like me or a person like Anaya, you know, if they can do it as much as we do, you definitely have to be. You have to live this, you know. There's a lot of people who want to be wrestlers and say that they're wrestlers, but doing one show a month, 2 shows a month, it's a hobby, you know. I mean, I'm doing 3-4 shows every single weekend. I live this, you know. A lot of us here, Curtis Cole, Mario Avenger, we live this, you know what I mean. And Marlon, he's another one of those guys. He just started. He's fresh. He's real fresh, real new. But he definitely lives this. He wants this, you know.
Yeah, and I see that he's still doing a lot of training.
Oh yeah.
To break the fourth wall a little bit. I do see that he still needs a little more. Let's do this. Let's do that in the ring.
Right.
You know, but as for his athleticism and his charisma, he's already there.
Oh, that guy's out of this world, man. He's gonna make something. He's gonna be something big for sure. The body in him, ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, do you know which NFL teams he played for?
I don't know every single one of them. I know he had a long stint with Atlanta. Okay. He played a few seasons with Carolina, and he played for like 2 or 3 more. I just can't remember offhand, right off top.
Well, I'll have to have him on, and then I'll talk to him about it.
Hey, sounds like a plan, man. He's a good guest, I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, what do you have planned for the near future for yourself?
Near future, I'm doing all the shows here in Colorado. I'm doing all the Rocky Mountain Pro shows. I'm doing all the Primo shows, representing them as the champion. I'm doing all the Lucha Libre and Laugh shows, which is one of my favorite shows to be on anywhere, not just here in the state, but Lucha Libre and Laughs is incredible. What Nick has built there is just, it's something special, you know. And all the shows here in Colorado, I'm next weekend or 2 weekends, I'm going out to Devotion out in Utah. I'm gonna go represent Colorado out in Devotion. So I'm just excited, you know. Doing all the shows that I can, you know. Anybody who will pay me what I'm willing to, anybody who is willing to pay me what I'm asking for, I'm excited. I'm excited to come be a part of the show.
Yeah. So, hey, let's talk about Lucha Libre and Laughs a little bit.
Man.
I asked Lonnie about this. So the running commentary that happens during the match.
Yeah.
Do you get distracted by it, or
Man,
does it amp you up?
Because I kind of heard what Lonnie was saying a little bit about that, and like I kind of got.
They get on you.
Oh yeah. I'm in the same boat as him. Is when I'm in there wrestling, you know, it's just a whole different animal. I'm so focused on the task at hand. I'm so focused on the match and what I need to do, like what I have to do to get the crowd into it. That the commentary, like every now and then I'll catch a few of their one-liners, which are just they're amazing every time. But when I'm in there, I kind of just tune everything out, and I'm focused on what I need to do to get the crowd into the match, you know. So that's pretty much where I'm coming from with that. But taking nothing away from them, like Sam and Nathan and everybody who does Lucha Libre and Laughs, they're good guys. They're incredible comics, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
So, and at the last Lucha Libre and Laughs was the equal fights.
Yep.
I almost called equal rights. Sorry, Nick. I get confused. You got to team up with Bentley Powell,
the bitch killer,
and you guys wore each other's merch to the ring. That was I popped for that.
Oh yeah.
But how was that whole tournament, and also wrestling with her as your partner?
Oh, it was great. It was great. There was a lot of talent in that tournament. We had some fun matches. You know, tagging with her was it's just natural. You know, Bentley, she's like my little sister. You know what I mean?
Literally and figuratively.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying. She's like behind the scenes and everything in life. She's one of my best friends. You know what I mean? So tagging with her was an honor because she's talented too. She's super young. She's got so much ahead of her in wrestling. You know, whatever she wants to do, she's gonna make it happen. And tagging with her was an honor, man. She's one of my better friends for sure. Yeah, it was just meant to happen.
Awesome. Shoot, I was going to ask you something else. I forgot what it was. So Lucha Libre and Laughs, that's coming up. And
yeah, man, whatever you want to ask me, man. Like, we could touch on some of the topics we touched on last time. Maybe there's some new listeners that didn't hear the last interview. Whatever you want, man. I'm game for anything.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm just trying to think. So, hey, let's shoot on the weather.
Let's do it.
The weather today, rainy, snowy.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, first Romero's event of the season.
Yep.
Think it's going to hold out?
Man, I really hope so. I really hope so. It might be cold, but when we started running there, it was a couple of years ago. It was like November, October. It was cold back then, you know?
Yeah.
So as long as there's no snow, no rain,
yeah.
I mean, even if there is, we'll push through it. We'll make it happen. You know, we'll go out there and we'll entertain. But fingers crossed, man. I'm gonna sit here.
Well,
I'm gonna knock on wood.
Yeah, and it's my birthday, so my birthday wish.
I know, man.
Is of course good weather.
I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do for your birthday?
Well, of course, I'm gonna get Romero's.
Hey, that's the best way to spend it.
I don't know. I think a lot of times as you get older, you just kind of let it happen and see what happens.
I've been that way my whole life. I feel you, man.
I suspect there's going to be people that are going to do things for me. You know, whether it's gifts or whatever, that kind of stuff. So I'm not necessarily going to be surprised, but I'm also going to be surprised at whatever it turns out to be. I'm game for anything.
Hey, it's going to be a good day, man. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
Let me interview you for a minute, man.
Sure.
When did you get into wrestling around Colorado?
In Colorado?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my job, I'm pretty much all by myself all day long, so I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Nice.
So this podcast that I listened to was called the All Wrestling Week in Review.
No doubt.
And they kind of went on, and then a lot of listeners started branching off and doing their own thing.
Awesome.
And then I found out there was another listener in Colorado. His name is Rocky Mountain High.
Oh, okay.
So he lives down in the Littleton area.
No doubt.
And so I started talking to him online and stuff like that, and we decided to go to a independent wrestling show.
Right.
And I've never been to, so this was probably a little over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And the first show that I attended was actually a New Era show.
Awesome.
When they still were in Golden at the Buffalo Roast.
Right.
So, and the first night, Hunter was there. I was like, who's this weird Viking guy
right.
screaming and yelling?
Yeah, he's a trip, man.
And being just a berserker, you know? And so him and Duff Doyle were there, and Adrian Matthews, you know, a bunch of people you probably know.
Yeah.
So I got into that. So that was my very first show.
Awesome.
And then the second show I attended was at the Black Hawk Brewery in Broomfield when Rocky Mountain Pro was still NRW.
Yeah.
And then, so that was Sugar Free was there, and Zero Cool and Dustin were his disciples in the Sugar Free movement thing. And then this tag team wearing black and red, just bad mother, you-knowers, come out, and that was the Left Coast Gorillas.
Yep, sounds pretty familiar.
and so when I got there, it was like, do you want a seat ticket or do you want a standing room ticket? I'm like, well, this is different. This is STD. Something totally different.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I want to save a couple bucks. So I was like, I'll do a standing room ticket. I don't care.
For sure.
So watched it, you know, and I had no idea what this independent wrestling was all about. But when, I don't know if it was Anaya or if it was Hoodie, but one of them picked up a keg there.
Yeah.
Because they had kegs around the ring, around the guardrails. Mm-hmm. One of them, and threw it at the other team, and it rolled and rolled where I was standing at the guardrail, and it hit the guardrail. And I'm like, shoot, this is crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So I would have to say the Left Coast Gorillas hooked me on to keep on following independent wrestling, and in particular NRW at the time.
Yeah.
And that was right when NRW was switching from that to Rocky Mountain Pro.
For sure.
So then, you know, I started then getting to know a bunch of you guys as well.
Yeah.
And then I went to a Raw, WWE Raw shortly after there, and that was when Curtis Cole and Tyler and Johnny Proof got to face against Braun Strowman.
Right. That was the same night Goldberg came back, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah. So. And I think I was actually in the fourth row of that match.
Hey.
So
now we know where it comes from.
Well, actually, I'll tell a story too. But I was like, I know those three guys. I've seen them wrestle.
Right.
And then shortly after that, I was like, I tweeted on to Curtis. It's like, dude, is your head okay? Because that looked like a nasty bump.
Oh,
then I find out that he actually got stitches and the whole thing. And then I met him shortly after when you guys, the Rocky Mountain Bros, started having the regular shows at the quarry.
Yep.
And he goes, I know the name, and now I know the face. So I got to meet Curtis, shortly after that. Ali Gatto was probably the first person that I met at took a picture with and everything. And you and Tyler were shortly after that. That was with you when you still had shorter hair too.
Yeah. Walking around wearing a suit and shit.
Yeah, you had to play that. If people don't know, you had to play that filter that you got built with Vince Russo.
Oh yeah, that was the genesis.
Yeah,
where it all started.
Yeah. So going back to where I got my name was for years and years. I just basically didn't go to wrestling shows or whatever. But when I was working at Comp USA at the time, found out a couple other fellow employees were wrestling fans, and so we decided, hey, we should get together and go to WWE Raw. So we did. We went when WWE still did shows at the Denver Coliseum,
right?
And that was when just at the tail end of Stone Cold and Undertaker's regular wrestling careers.
Oh, so that was a while ago.
Yeah, so that's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then as I started, paying a little more for my tickets and trying to get as close to the ring as possible, because that's where I think it's really worth it to get as close as possible.
Yeah, man.
And so every time I got a ticket, the best I could do was get the fourth row tickets.
For sure.
And I think maybe, I'm going to shoot on Ticketmaster and everybody else, but I think because a lot of times those first few rows are reserved for wrestling the families and VIPs and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So there have been a few times I've been able to get in the second row or the third row, but so that's the kind of way, I'm going to start tweeting and stuff, but it's like, I need a catch name, and so that's kind of where it got. So every time I bought tickets, I was like, the best I could do was fourth row, so I'm like, boom, I'm going to do that. So
hey, man, it fits.
And I've been tempted to change it, but I'm like, no, I've already built my brand, I'm going to run with it.
Yeah,
and
people know it. People know it.
It works for a lot of things.
For sure, dude.
And if I'm going to get a logo done, gotta stay there.
So how long have you been watching wrestling? When did you get into it?
I started when I was really young.
Yeah.
So in elementary school, junior high. So the days when Hulk Hogan was around, of course, Jake the Snake, Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat.
Yeah.
So we had about 3 of us in my neighborhood that got together, and one of my friends had a trampoline.
Oh shit!
And it was in the backyard, on the corner next to the fence.
Yeah.
And so we started, hey, we can do some of these moves and stuff, and we'd jump off the fence and onto the trampoline and stuff like that. We would emulate being those characters.
Right.
And I remember one time I jumped off the fence, and I did a jump from the fence onto my knees to hit in the mat on the trampoline.
Yeah.
And I must have been hunched over just enough, so when I hit it enough, I actually did like 2.5 flips and on the thing, and I was like, dude, that was fun.
Jim Cornette would have been pissed.
I know, no flippy shit.
That's cool though, man.
Yeah.
Were you just a fan of WWF, or did you watch any of it?
That's all I knew really at the time.
For sure.
So then, as I got older, I of course fell out of it.
Yeah.
Then I got into baseball, and I'm a big Chicago Cubs fan.
Right.
Just because of WGN, cable, and the Rockies didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
And so 1987 was when I got into baseball, and that was the year that Andre Dawson won the MVP.
Oh, okay.
So he, of course, is my favorite player growing up, was Andre Dawson. When he got inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame, I was like, dude, I gotta go. So I've been to the Baseball Hall of Fame, saw him inducted, and that was fun. It was great. It was really weird, though, being on a trip by myself. So my dad was supposed to go with me, but something came up.
Yeah.
But it turned out okay. So then I got back into sports, and then another job I was working doing some software support. They were wrestling fans as well, and so I got introduced back into wrestling to watch. And that was when Hogan and Sting were having their big feud.
Oh shit! All right. That was the peak.
Yeah, the first scene I saw was when Hogan was doing I think, a press conference
All right.
in Japan, and Sting came and hit him with attacked him and did with the baseball bat.
Holy shit.
And I was like, I know Hogan,
Yeah.
but why is he? Yeah, I think he still was red and yellow then. But I was like, who's this crow-looking guy?
Yeah, if like Hogan was black and white. If Sting was doing the crow gimmick already, then Hogan was for sure black and white. He turned in '96.
That's
He
right.
actually turned the day I was born.
Oh.
I was born 7/7/96, and then that was the day of the Bash at the Beach. So that was the day he joined the Outsiders.
Oh.
They created the NWO.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so then, that got me in, and then, I was house sitting in my uncle's house at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was flipping back and forth. I was like, oh, shoot, WCW and WWE, and they're going back and forth. And so I get introduced to the Monday Night Wars at that time.
Right.
And then, we didn't have DVRs really back then yet. So then I would record one on a VCR.
Right.
And then watch the other live, and then go back and watch the other one, because that was the technology.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, now we can of course do it with DVRs,
Of course,
or
yeah.
streaming or whatever we want to do.
Right.
So that got me back into that, watching that, and then followed that ever since, and just became a lot of fans with all the other promotions. I remember watching TNA at the time when they were on the Fox Sports regional nets.
Pay-per-views every week. The weekly pay-per-view. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were hitting at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, and then these weekly pay-per-views, I was like, that's, once again, that's STD, something totally different.
Oh yeah, man.
And that was really fun, and I really enjoyed that. I wish, I think things have evolved, but they were really going back then.
No pun intended with the Evolve reference, right?
What's that?
No pun intended with the Evolve reference.
Yeah, exactly. But so and then ever since then, been watching, and then got into. It was like I want to enjoy a little bit more, so that's when I got into listening to the podcast, the WW or the AWWIR.
Yeah.
And here we are.
It's blossomed from there.
There's all the pieces connected.
Hell yeah, man. That's tight. That's tight.
All right. So, gosh, I don't know what else really to talk about. We've been going for about 27 minutes now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How long do your shows usually run?
Depends how long the stories are.
Right.
And, and a lot of times it's like you want to swing around, catch up, and see what you've been doing, and all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah. Ugh, good times, man. Good times. working my ass off. You know what I mean? What more could you do? What more could you ask for?
Yeah, definitely. All right, you want to call it good?
You good with that, man?
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
All right, man.
All right.
Once again, a big thank you to Filter, Dorian Maddox, Monster Zero, whatever you would like to call him, for the interview there at the Rackhouse. It was fun. And like I said, it sounded pretty decently. I'd like your guys' feedback. Let me know how it sounded to you. That would be great. So, let's get into the weekend review here a little quickly. So, I attended the Thursday night Supercharged 3. Fantastic. Their Supercharged events are just getting better there at Rocky Mountain Pro. It was really great to see, as I had mentioned, two of my favorite people in person again, catching up with Tough Guy Inc., Brutal Bob Evans, and Tough Timmy Hughes. And all I can say, it was exciting. If you guys haven't watched it, subscribe to Rocky Mountain Pro's Twitch channel, and you can rewatch it there. Lots of nice surprises. And got to see a lot of great talent there that was attending the Hangs with Bob Super Camp there in Colorado this past weekend, especially starting there on Thursday night at the Quarry. So then Friday night we had the Rackhouse, last Friday of the month. Did not disappoint, and I think it was even, like I said, more fantastic than ever. We got the weather rolling in just, I think, a little bit early, so we got a good little wet spring snowstorm that happened right as the main event was happening. Like I mentioned there with Filter interview, we had recorded this interview about 2 hours before showtime, and it was kind of a great feel. If you look on the Twitch stream, you could see the snow falling in the background because the Rackhouse has installed rolling garage doors with windows, so you could see outside where it backs up to the parking lot to Coors Field. Yes, the Rackhouse is really close to Coors Field, home of the Colorado Rockies. So during summer nights that there's a game, you get to see the foot traffic, people leaving the game and heading to their cars. It's really cool, and you get all the looky-loos, and they see this wrestling ring from the parking lot, and people will stop and stare. They can't see really well because the Rackhouse is a little elevated from the parking lot, but they get a good enough gist of what could be happening. So then Saturday was the Romero's event. Unfortunately, I got sick. I got a little bit of a cold, so yes, I got sick on my birthday, so I did not attend. Did rewatch it on the Twitch stream. Looked like it did pretty well, and everybody had some great matches. Then I attended the Rocky Mountain Pro Invades the Summit Music Hall. And all I have to say about it is that's a really kind of neat environment. A lot of the my fellow friends said and wrestlers have said that they've attended many concerts, a lot of metal concerts, especially at this venue. And it's a great little venue. In fact, the way they set it up kind of reminded me a little bit of the Wrestler, the movie there with Mickey Rourke, and how he had one of the last final scenes where the stage was kind of elevated and he had the ramp that kind of went down to the ring where they were at the, I think it was an ROH backdrop that you saw. So that kind of popped me a little bit there as well. I attended the meet and greet there with Al Snow and Stevie Richards. Got to talk with Al Snow for a while about promotions, owning a company, because now he's owner of OVW, and we also got to find out that they are now going to be accredited as a actual learning academy, learning facility. And so, as a trade school, basically. So you can actually go to OVW and learn wrestling as a trade and get certified, get a degree in wrestling. Can you believe that? I think that's amazing. I mean, that's as I said in the interview with Filter, it's STD. It's something totally different. And I have some wrestler friends already kind of clamoring at the bit, and in fact, one saying, gosh, he could hopefully be able to use his GI Bill for this. So shout out to Big Guns if you're listening. So that would be kind of cool if he did, and I think he would pass with flying colors. He would probably graduate top of class. So then I also got to talk to Stevie Richards there at the VIP. I wanted to I had a lot of personal questions about Stevie Richard Fitness and setups and things of that nature before I purchased the program. I have not purchased it yet, in all honesty, but I'm going to, hopefully probably in next paycheck, or if I get my tax refund before then. So that's going to be exciting. I'm happy to start doing that. But that was last week. So let's talk about this week. At the time of this recording, so tomorrow we have the Ignition and Charged TV tapings and live TV, Right Now TV. They are going live starting tomorrow. They're at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds, Rocky Mountain Pro. So we'll be able to see all the fallout there from Supercharged 3 and all the events over this past weekend. Then on Friday, we have... Oh, so if you want to get tickets, simple as going to rmpwrestling.com. So then on Friday, we have Lucha Libre and Laughs. They are holding their In Brightest Day, In Blackest Night show. You want to get tickets, go to theorientaltheater.com and you can get tickets. I've got mine. I hope to see you as well. We got some great people coming back in town. Dakota Traper's coming back in town with Darren Corbin. Aligato is taking on Bentley Powell for the women's championship, toughest women's championship there. Ragnarockers are of Bruce Rogers and Hunter Gray are going to put their tag team titles up against newcomers, Vanity Inc. of Tony Morales and Benjamin Cumberbatch. So it's going to be kind of cool seeing them in there. And I think quite a few other people are going to be there as well. Oh, and Anaya versus the champ, Mike Seidel. So that should be really good. You got the high-flying Yoga Monster versus CEO of Neckbreaker Inc., the Heisenberger Anaya. So, sorry, I think I probably butchered how to say that. But anyways, that should be fun as well. And I do not believe we have anything happening on Saturday, but on Sunday is WrestleMania, of course. Primos Pro Wrestling is holding a watch party at the Watering Hole, the Watering Bowl, I believe. So that should be fun. Starts at 2:30 p.m. and they have a special guest appearance. Former NXT diva CJ Dunning will be there to interact with the fans. That should be fun. So yeah, the Watering Bowl is where it's at, and it's free. Being sponsored by Crown Royal, so there's going to be some wrestling, and in fact they did announce that there's going to be a Big Guns 303 gauntlet match for the 303 title. So hopefully we'll see you all there, see if Big Guns can retain his title. So, hey, well, that is it. But before I go, let me once again say a big thank you to the Trending Topics Network, where this podcast is hosted. And if you like the Wrestling with Altitude podcast, please subscribe or stay subscribed to the feed, and you'll get other great shows such as Wrestling Cheers, the Eurovision Showcase podcast, and you'll also get the Spanish Announce Table, Old School at the Movies, and much more on the feed. It's well worth the price of subscribing, which is, it's free. Anyways, once again, thank you all for listening and Wrestling with Altitude.